And we're live. Welcome to the Gordox Pub. I got nothing. I've been beaten today.
New pens for inking. Of course, I'm not inking today. But I thought I'd show them off.
Show off.
Well, more to the point is that somebody is interested in checking out something new. But they're probably not new. Not new. They're new to me. Wow, I don't know if this is like taped this way or what. It's kind of crazy packaging. Can't tell if the sides are taped or what.
I had to resort to my spare emergency headphones because I always buy cheap headphones because I tend to think they fall apart no matter how much money you spend on them. And I had this purple pair that was cheap set, whatever the cheapest thing was at Walmart. And the earpieces started to come apart. So I bought another pair of headphones just in case. But the sound kept coming through, so I kept using them. And now that I have these, they finally, the one earbud starts cutting out. I can't handle that. Well, I mean, I can, but I don't want to.
Yeah, that's what happened to my wired earphones that I had for this mic. That's why I'm using a very nice set. The nice set that I have, actually, I'll show you real quick.
Yeah. Oh.
They were purchased for me for Christmas, I think 2 years ago. I've used them pretty steady since then. When I use earphones, which I've found I'm using more often nowadays. I'm dying to use these on this paper. Wow.
What?
Wow. Can you see the tip?
Yeah. Yeah.
And not the metal part, but the other part.
Okay.
It's pretty small, kind of felt-like tip. I am going to be interested in seeing what that does. But first things first, I have a page to finish, right?
Yeah, I got a question about the next page, and you can tell me you don't care, and then I'll just fill it in. But like Mastiff.
I haven't looked at the next page.
Well, the next page isn't there anymore. I deleted it.
Oh, well, in that case.
All right, so I know where it's going because I've got an outline. I was like, I'll make sure I know, like, whatever. I've kept like a loose outline in case anything needs to change. That way I don't have to get butthurt over it. Just be like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to be kind of fluid and flexible on this. So you know how, like, with the 𝕄𝔸𝕊𝔋𝕀𝔽𝔽,
I think that's a good idea when you're working with somebody else and not talking about it daily,
Right. So, anyway. So, in case you're wondering why I have I say I know where I'm going, it's because I have an outline. But, so I know that Mastiff needs to leave the city. And I can have him leave the city sooner rather than later. Like, I can have him leave the city the next couple pages if you want. But I also need to know what kind of conveyance you feel like dealing with. Because
Oh, he's not gonna what?
I don't think he's gonna run all the way through. Unless you want him to. I mean, I suppose that we can. I don't know. But we had established there's, they have some fuel, they have some vehicles. So I didn't know what you wanted. Yeah, because this was the part where I was like, I could just write something, and then I was like, what if Rich doesn't want to draw that?
I am torn because of we don't have a complete established world lore. And what I mean by that is we haven't really talked much about how they would travel or get along. If there's limited resources for fuel, the question is, do they have solar powered vehicles? Do they have fuel? They have integrated systems. They use Beast of Burden as well. How far down the rabbit hole do we want to go because of how this is set to be? So there's part of me thinks it would be cool to have like the equivalent of like a dewback or a tauntaun or something for that realm.
Okay.
And part of me also thinks it would be cool to have land speeder equivalents. Gotta mute for a second.
Okay.
And now to open the camera settings so that I can reset the camera.
It makes more logical sense if it's more of a speeder for this particular thing. If it's more of a speeder would be better.
Well, see, my thinking was how rough is the terrain outside, and I think that would make a difference. Like,
well, that's why
I don't think they'd have like motorcycles, and they would have a lot of vehicles if there's a limited supply of types of fuel. I mean, they might have innovated some solar technologies or whatever, but we never really made a commitment to that, so what the heck?
I don't know.
So dumb.
What you want on Saturday? What you want on Saturday?
Did he go to Walmart?
Saturday.
What?
I said, did he go to Walmart?
Who?
Your son.
No, what is that?
Eli?
Yeah.
He's been there. Didn't go today.
I just thought I heard him say something about Walmart.
Oh yeah, probably because usually it's Wednesdays and Thursdays or Wednesdays and Saturdays, and tomorrow's Wednesday.
Ha. So it's on his mind.
Oh yeah, so he's scheduled driven anyway. So He hasn't gone to school for the last couple of days because he's had symptoms of his medical issues.
Right.
And chose not to, which is really weird because he chose not to go and play 3 basketball games because it was a day that they had 3.
Huh.
That was loud. Must have been a truck going by on your end.
I guess.
Well, because I didn't have one going by on my end. Anyway. So now, and he can only go to school till May. Huh.
What?
So you notice that I didn't move my mouse to mute for a second, and you notice what didn't happen. The camera didn't back off and do anything. So I used the actual pad on my laptop to do that.
Okay.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's weird. Talking to his favorite person.
Who's his favorite person?
His Aunt Renee.
Oh, okay.
He really talks to her every night about this time. But because he has his earphones on, he doesn't know how loud he is. Which is something my wife keeps telling me about streaming. Like any other time, she tells me like I'm not very loud at all, but when I'm streaming or whatever, then she just doesn't want to hear my voice. I'm sure she just doesn't want to hear my voice. When I first come out of the coma, she's talking about how quiet I talk, and I have to actually push to get any volume.
Can you hear that when I do this?
I can hear some clicking.
Oh, that's it? Oh, interesting.
Well, I hear music in my ears. I hear Eli.
I started making audios for the essays and stuff that my students read, like the daily reads, which are relatively short. And it's a good way of making sure I put just one thing out a day, and they don't normally take that long to make. But the longest part is normally waiting for images or finding images or whatever, or like a lot of times I was making images of animals eating hamburgers because it's about the hamburger. You know, complicated stuff.
It's about the hamburger.
It's about a hamburger. It's about the history of the hamburger. Hamburger is a very important food, full of history.
måste säga anyway, people. Fattar du vad du gör? Jag tycker bara, jag vet inte. Tyvärr, jag har sabbat. Alltså, det var början. Du var på dig, var på den? Ja. Vad är det nu? Vad fan går på dig? Vad fan? I första startskett där. Ja, det. Jag kan. Bra. Wow. You see.
I forgot I was going to try to pull my noise reduction curtain.
You forgot what?
I was pulling a curtain so that I can reduce the noise.
Ah.
Now it's pulled.
Okay.
Well, I had the curtain so that I could pretty much close this space off as a room for streaming purposes. And I haven't really felt the need to use it. So
I have a curtain because when my wife
I
decides
think I've used it
after
once.
bed. Well, my wife can't stand the light from anything. So there's a curtain that goes around this area. I mean, this is the wall of a closet. And then from there, and then there's a armoire type thing, hutch, that kind of frames out the other wall. But she likes to block off more light than that even, so the curtain goes all the way around.
Yeah, I think right now it's a woman thing.
Well, to be fair, I mean, our bed is right there. Like you can see the TV from the bed, and that's the screen I'm using. And I mean, it's a good sized TV.
I didn't think I was being unfair.
Okay.
When I said that I think it's a woman thing right now is because my wife also likes it very, very dark, and it's really weird. My wife likes it dark unless she's watching something. I mean, it could be bright where she's watching, and I could be reading in a dim, soft light, and my dim, soft light will, break up her. She can't sleep. It's too bright. Blah blah blah. But she could watch TV and fall asleep with explosions going on or whatever.
Oh yeah, my wife's like that.
Yeah, so woman
I will.
thing.
I'll find
Not
her
an,
sleeping
that's not an
downstairs on the
insult.
couch. Yeah, she'll be asleep on the couch downstairs or in her chair or so whatever, and yeah, the TV will be going, explosions, whatever. But when she goes to bed, she has literally told me to get out of bed to close a curtain slightly better because the moonlight was hurting her. She could feel it.
Bobby, what are you doing? Don't do it again. No, yeah. Don't do well. Yeah.
Okay, out of evil curiosity, and you can tell me if this is a faux pas, a social faux pas to ask, but do you look at like your view hours and stuff on YouTube? Like, do you go into your analytics?
I used to, but like I said, like they started. I've had more viewers watch for longer periods of time, and they're actually decreasing my view hours. So I'm like, you know what? I'm really not on this for view hours. So I don't want to look at it too much. I don't want to be depressed.
I just, yeah. Some of the stuff on my, because, you know, mine's really content, first and foremost, for my class. And, yeah, most of my views are coming from outside the country. Well, and I don't know why that is.
Must be Middle Eastern spy bots trying to learn English.
Yay! Whatever. It could be Chinese spy bots. Come
Yeah.
on now.
Well, I didn't say just limited to.
Okay.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to sound exclusionary.
I looked at I was looking over the analytics because they're there and it's kind of interested in it, and just to see if I was completely wasting my time, because sometimes you can lead a student to water, but you can't make them think. So, just because they're available and it would make it easier doesn't mean anyone's actually going to use it. Because, they don't mind bringing in headphones into a classroom, but gosh darn it, that's to listen to what they want to listen to, not to what the teacher says.
Right. That's not really any different. I don't think that's ever changed.
No, it's not. It's just
The whole
When-
history of school, kids don't care what the teacher says unless they actually want to learn that subject.
well, that's one of the things where I don't know where administrators have ever gotten the idea that students want to learn. I'm just like, when did that ever occur? And then you always get the thing, back when you were a little child, you were learning all the time, and you mimicked mommy and daddy, and you were trying to figure out the world. And it's like, yeah, I also crapped my pants at the same time. After a while, you learn, and then you don't do those things anymore. I don't know. I'm learning a whole bunch of stuff, but that's because I want to learn the stuff, and that's weird. But it's also because I get to decide. And too many students, there are a lot of people who would never decide to do that. They would just be like, nope, I will be a vegetable. People don't mind being pure consumers. And as long as they get bread and circuses, right? I mean, it's been going on for a while. Oh, your camera moved again.
Yeah, that's because I didn't realize I was not used to it. So I took it off mute, so now I have to click on my camera again.
It's weird.
Yep. Yeah, what I was saying is I think there's always going to be a contingent of people that want to learn things. It's like electives, right? They're electives because you get a choice of what you
Right.
want to learn, right? But I think,
Well, supposedly.
yeah, I mean the principle is what I'm talking about. Obviously, I can't speak for school nowadays because I haven't been in school in a long time. But I think there's always been a contingent that is excited to learn, but they're only there are math kids that are only excited to learn math, and English kids that are only excited to learn English or writing or even just reading. Some of them, and then there's I was into history, but there were kids that were way more into history than I was, right?
Right.
So I mean, I think that's kind of what makes the world go around. Is just they don't have I don't think they have a curriculum where you can just learn what you want to learn. I think
Well,
as aside from the basics that you need to learn, like communication skills and basic math, and I hate to do the reading, writing, and arithmetic thing, but yeah, reading, writing, and arithmetic. After that, you kind of should be able to specialize in what you're looking to learn, because just from my own perspective, that has changed way way from one thing to another over the course of my life. I went through one stage that I wanted to learn, like wanted to learn art. Another, I wanted to learn writing. Another, I wanted to learn music. I mean, but they're all viable, right? So
well, conceivably, but then
when I
at a certain age point, you'd have everyone doing art and music, and then and again,
yeah,
they don't
but
want.
sorry, yeah, but like when I was learning art and focusing on art, they always were slipping in art history. So I'm literally learning history as I'm learning art, and the tests are more on history than the art because art is really subjective, and it's not about how well you learn the technique. Unfortunately, at least it wasn't in my day. Like I would have loved for them to just teach me the techniques that I wanted to learn, but
If they
I
taught
really
techniques at all.
but I really didn't want to. I really didn't know what I actually wanted to learn for techniques because there weren't options. Like I couldn't look at something and go, "Oh yeah, that's what I want to learn." And I'm not saying that that's purely it, but you could say, "Are you more interested in what level of English?" Right? I guess I don't know. I'm just thinking the kids might be more interested in learning if they could choose what they were learning about. Like,
Yeah. But unfortunately, a lot of them are going to choose things that, I mean, again, you look at, you're going to have some, don't get me wrong, but there are a lot of them that would be like, yeah, I want to learn how to play this game. And that's all I want to do is play video games. That's it.
yeah, but that's really not. I mean, yes, they
That's,
would. Yes, they would say that. That's not what I'm disputing. What I'm disputing is that not you don't have classes on how you can defeat video games or learn how to play video games, but you can like have a, a programming class where you're specializing in graphics or whatever. It's
yeah.
just the way you go about it. I don't know. I guess and I'm only guessing. It's not my field of expertise, but I just
I'm
think
telling
that
you right now, the human mind does not necessarily, it likes comfort. And learning normally is because you are trying to reach a state of comfort. Um, and children are coddled, so they're very, very comfortable. And
I've
because
never
of
been
that, they
for a
don't.
state.
I'm okay. You look at that compared to other animals, and
I'm not arguing what your theory is. What I'm saying is I've never searched for knowledge for comfort. I've searched it for knowledge.
okay. And I'm telling you right now, there is a large percentage of people who will. The only reason they're going to learn anything is because for some reason they're uncomfortable. They want more money. They want more status. They want something that's making them uncomfortable, and therefore they'll go learn. And they will do just enough to reach the level of comfort they want to get to, and that is it. And there are a lot of people who are very okay with comfort levels that aren't that high. They don't mind eating trashy food. They don't mind living in trashy surroundings. They don't mind a lot of things as long as they don't have to do a whole bunch. And if you think people are lazy because they don't want to work, well, if they don't want to work, what makes you think they want to learn? And I'm not saying that that's everybody. It's just not a blanket statement like that's what you are, Rich. It's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying there is a large population that is perfectly content to be ignorant, and they're blissfully unaware. It also doesn't help that we have tests that are designed, quite frankly, for, I mean, what the state says you need versus what you actually need and are going to use in your life are two wildly different things. Wildly different. Because the state has basically said everyone needs a college education, which isn't true.
Right.
And therefore, you have to take a whole bunch of classes, to get you out of the workforce. That's one of the reasons why we have education all the way up to 18, is to get people out of the workforce, is to keep them from having jobs. They don't have the time for it. It's one of the reasons. And it's also, so we keep them out of the workforce for 18 years. And supposedly we're competing against, the Russians or the Chinese or somebody for, or the Indians for STEM jobs, except for everything I read about STEM jobs and H-1B1 visas and all that kind of stuff sounds like, yeah, we can train up the best engineers on the planet, but our companies won't hire them because you can get 10 people from another country to do the work of one American, but they still cost less. And it's like, okay. So these ideas that the state has, and then it's kind of nice too, I'm sure, from the state's perspective, because you say that students have to learn all, like, math is one of those things I'm just like, you don't need that much math.
Well, that's why I said basic math.
Yeah.
That's why I said I shudder to say reading, writing, and arithmetic, but you do need some math.
Yeah, you do.
I'm not saying you need calculus or,
I don't think you need, you need a little algebra, but not much. And a little geometry, but not much.
No, yeah, I don't think I think you could get away with not living your life that you need algebra. There's a lot of jobs that you just need simple math.
Well, simple algebra is simple math.
Yeah, I'm talking about like adding, subtracting, dividing, and multiplying.
Yeah, but
algebra is generally finding an unknown, right?
Right, which is what we do in real life, which is why you need a little bit of it, just so you understand how to frame the problem.
Yeah, only if you're dealing with that kind of a problem. Like I'm not dealing with an unknown if I'm in this particular business. And I'm not saying all business is like that, but I'm saying that not all business does require algebra. And there's algebraic calculators now too. So.
Well, okay. But anyway, so the whole, I don't know, I just find some of these things that we have, these concepts, they're based on a system that's way too old. And then, you have people that want to push charter schools and stuff. And it's like, because charter schools don't have all these restrictions. And it's like, if you don't want the restrictions, just don't have the restrictions. I don't know what else, what people think charter schools are going to do, and that's why a lot of them don't do any better. In fact, a lot of them do worse than public schools. But hey, whatever. I saw something today, although I think a judge already stopped it or did an injunction or something, but Trump froze all spending. All federal spending.
Yeah, from what I understand, that's not true. That's just the way the press is presenting it.
Well, even then, I was like,
there's a limit on what he's actually stopped spending, and it's not a stop; it's a pause
Right.
for an evaluation.
But what I don't understand is, I mean, I already set like I haven't had a whole bunch of time to look into it. I just because again it just happened today, but it was already not passing the smell test because they're like, oh yeah, this is gonna like Medicaid payments are gonna stop today, and it's like,
Yeah, that's not what he said. Actually, the press secretary was addressing that. I was watching it earlier. Where
well, I'm
he
just
said
saying,
specifically that anything that touches somebody, like touches the public, like Medicaid,
yeah, but they were talking about like grants that weren't gonna, and I'm like, if you're waiting on a grant, then either you're not being paid now, which means either you have another source of income, or you're saying that this will stop something in the future. It didn't stop it on a dime. And there's just stuff in it that people are saying. It's like, this does not sound right.
yeah,
And I figured, just
obviously
basic surface level doesn't sound right.
it's obvious attack Trump policy shit.
Well,
But
what I find, okay, the link for Twitch on Discord wasn't working.
Huh?
Adam, which by the way, welcome Adam, says, okay, the link for Twitch on Discord wasn't working. Oh, we don't have to talk about politics, Adam. We were just saying. I was just saying, media representation would seem a little strange. Like it doesn't make sense that money would stop instantaneously. That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah, no, there's no heat either. I'm just saying that what he heard, the press secretary was expounding on, and I was watching that earlier, so I had a little bit of information on it. Like I'm not making any claims, positive or negative, towards anything. Just what I heard, and that was that food stamps, the assistance like welfare, either Medicaid or Medicare, I don't remember which one. And anything that affects a single person, like instead of an entity but a single person, nothing is gonna stop. Nothing has been ceased. So whatever it is they're talking about, they're just checking out the efficiency of it. They saved, I think they said they saved over $300 million from going out on stuff that he had already ceased. So, and he's already brought over $1 trillion in commitments into the U.S. So,
Yeah,
that's your do news report from me. I don't have a whole lot. I'm trying to pay attention to what's going on, but I'm not trying to preach about it.
Well, I find it funny. Just the media just doesn't want to cover. Like they haven't learned anything, I guess. Like, oh, we're back to this again, where everything that the administration says is an absolute lie or says something that it's not what it's saying.
Did you watch that?
No.
Sorry. You didn't watch that first press secretary thing?
No.
The reason that I asked was one of the things that made me stop and I had to actually watch again is that they were saying that they are now opening applications for press passes to independent journalists and not streamers, podcasters, and they're welcome to apply. Yep, and they had Breitbart in there, and there are all kinds of news people that weren't allowed in there before.
Yeah.
So they are being as transparent as they can be. I just found that interesting, super interesting. Sorry to cut you off, but it was like that was the other part of that press conference that I forgot about.
Well, I mean, whatever it is. I mean, I just find it's the same playbook. Like, all right. And the same people who believed everything that the media told them to last week also believe it this week. So, I'm like, all right, okay. I'm just hoping that. Well, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah. I wasn't trying to start a bunch. I was just trying to inform you what I caught.
yeah,
I should send you the link so you can check it out yourself. It's not very long, but it's worth watching.
Well, I'm sure I'll see it later on. I just haven't. Like I said, I got.
The left press was all saying, "Are you going to be honest? Are you going to be honest?" And and she was like, "Yeah, we're going to be honest. We expect you to be too."
So I take it that Digital Tantrum is Adam.
Yes.
And okay, so he said, "Stop starting shit, Twitch, Rich.
So what?
Stop starting shit, Twitch, Rich." I think he meant to say, "Stop starting shit, Rich," but he just anyway.
No, it's Twitch that's starting shit.
I just thought it was fun. It was a nice little rhyme.
It was a happy little accident. Ah,
Happy little accidents are squirting. I'm gonna get us in trouble for that.
probably.
I don't care. If you couldn't tell.
I thought it was kind of funny because so every other Monday I take my students to the library, and they all want to stay there the entire period, but it's a giant waste of class time normally, and I don't like to do that. Like it's just hold on. Ooh, I can't read that very well. I gotta change that screen. Adam said, "My favorite political quote of the week is how the right was quoted saying they voted for Trump because he embodies and upholds Christian family values."
Yeah, okay. I don't think I recall anyone saying that.
Well,
anyway.
there has been he said that he feels God saved him from the assassin and that this was the purpose for it. But I think that people forget that the Christian values is that you can always be redeemed no matter how bad you can get.
You know, I was thinking about that today because I saw somebody. They're getting kind of preemptive, but
Kind of.
but God has no time for the women in the elevators. Okay, but it was talking about in the next couple of weeks you're going to hear people talking about the sin of empathy, and empathy is not a sin. And I'm like, who the hell is talking about the sin of empathy? And you know, they go on about how important empathy is for Christian values and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, all right. If you say so. Now, maybe I'm confused, but I don't recall Jesus having a lot of empathy towards, I don't know, like when he threw a tantrum on the at the temple with the money changers. You know, like he didn't show a lot of empathy there.
Animals and money changers being in the house of God. Yeah, I can understand that.
And I'm like, he had empathy for people, but not for sin. And
he said that he didn't come to be with those that didn't need redemption.
Right.
He came for the sinner.
Okay, and that's fine. But at the same time, it's expected that you accept him. Like there's a cutoff. Like he can empathize all you want, but like, no, if you don't do
you
it,
gotta believe in him. Yep, gotta believe in him. That's the key.
And because you know, I get what the post was trying to preemptively say, and it comes back to a lot of the immigration stuff and open borders.
Yeah,
and and people, they like to play this. These atheists, a lot of them will like to play the Christian. Well, that's not very Christian of you. Like, well, you're an atheist. You don't care, so go away.
Like, what do you know about being Christian except for what you think that we should be?
Yeah, well, whatever.
So we're not perfect, right?
But it's like, I think that the sin of empathy, if there is such a thing, is the fact that you empathize with people who did bad things and allowed good people who did nothing to get hurt. So when you have open borders and it drives down wages and you put people into poverty, I'm so glad that you were empathetic to the immigrant, but what about the people who are here? Where was your empathy then? Where was your empathy for the people who are homeless Americans? Where's your empathy for them when we're putting up, illegal immigrants in hotels and feeding them, giving them, phones and money cards and all kinds of stuff? Where's the empathy?
Usually you get the whole Leviticus argument and don't turn away a stranger or whatever. But really what they're talking about is if a stranger moves to your country, then they should take up your rules, your laws, your beliefs, your customs. And that's not what they're using it for. They're using it for you're not doing right by the strangers.
Well, again, if a stranger comes and strikes my wife, I don't say, well, I shouldn't be mean to a stranger. I say, well, now you're getting it. If you take away opportunities from my children, like there's one thing where it's charity and one thing where it's theft, and I'm not real keen on the theft part, especially if you have to go through 5 different countries to reach us. Just saying.
Well, and so but it's a different subject, and it's to a different people. They're talking to people that conquered Canaan, right? They're not talking about just any country should take every single immigrant or whatever.
Yeah.
They're basically saying that if there's a stranger lives in your midst, you accept them, but they have to accept your rules and ways. The problem is that these people are not accepting our rules and ways and laws. I mean, you can't use that verse because of that. That's you can't just use half of it. It's either got to all work or none of it's got to work.
Right.
Going to work. So I have nothing against immigrants. I have something against illegal aliens, especially when they come here and kill people, rape people. We're going to get struck for that, but it's the truth.
Well, that's the thing. I'm like, it's weird how your empathy kind of
Subjective.
it's only for certain groups. I don't know. I don't
Right.
feel very.
I agree. It's that empathy is subjective that they're talking about.
Yeah.
It's only for their causes and their groups and all this other stuff.
Well, I also saw something. I almost said something, but then I was like, I'm not getting into a fight on Facebook, especially not with family. But it was this post that I was talking about the value of DEI and how it needs to be protected and blah blah blah. And half of it I would say was true. The other half, where it's all about everyone being able to live freely and equally, I was like, well, that's just an absolute lie.
Yeah,
Because
they're not talking about. Sorry, go ahead.
They're not talking about my boys.
Well, they're not talking about equality either. They're talking about equity, which is not the same thing.
I know.
Equality is everybody's got the same chance. Equity is everybody gets the same thing no matter whether they work for it or not. That's the problem with DEI.
equity of opportunity has merit, but equity of outcome is ridiculous. Yeah, I agree.
Well, equity, it's not equity of opportunity, it's equality of opportunity, not equity. Equity means that the results are the same, not the starting points are the same. Like, we all have the same opportunities. That's what equality is. What you do with it and what I do with it, they're two different things. Like, you may be liked more than me, you may have a better personality than me for being outgoing and talking to people or teaching or whatever. So you're gonna naturally go down a different road or get more in those fields than I am, even though we start off with the same rights. We could both go to the same schools. We could both go to the same, well, I guess colleges depends on merit, right? But I don't even know about that these days. But you're shooting for the same thing. We could buy the same house in the same neighborhood. We could, buy the same cars. That's equality. What you do with that equality, just because Musk can own a helicopter doesn't mean that everyone should own a helicopter, and that's equity. So, equality. I'm all for equality. Everybody has equal rights under the law, right? That's what it should be. I'm totally with that. But the whole equity thing, where everybody just deserves whatever, that's just not true.
Adam agreed with you. In case you're wondering.
Well, that's nice. Like, yeah, I don't have a problem with everybody having an equal start. I don't think that anybody should be judged on their color. I think it's all should be merit. I know black people and Hispanics and Asians that are all smarter than me. You know what I mean? I think, I same thing with talent. Like, I know black people, Asians, Mexicans, everybody that they are also, better artists than I am. Or so I don't make judgments based on what color they are, where they're from, or whatever. It's their skill that makes me appreciate what they're doing, or their knowledge, or the way they share their knowledge. Like you said, you were taught something from somebody that wasn't even a black belt or something when your instructor couldn't teach you. So,
well, he knew what he was doing. Don't get me wrong.
No, I didn't say you did. I said that he could teach you because everybody's affected different. Yeah, I wasn't intending to saying that your instructor wasn't skilled.
Yeah, that's I was just clarifying. That's all.
Just saying, some people are better. Yeah, everybody's got something that they're better at than somebody else.
Well, I mean, when it comes to teaching, though, it's not necessarily. For example, to take your example, Master Howard taught plenty of people how to do it. He knew how to teach it. He knows how to teach it. He knows how to do it. It was my stupidity, my problem, my inability to comprehend. And it was after hearing Master Howard and then hearing one of his students say, "Oh yeah, try it like this," or think about it like this, or this is how I think about it.
Well, arguably, that Master Howard's job is to teach you, and if he doesn't get across,
well, he was.
If he didn't get across to you what some other person did, he wasn't doing his job as well.
I think.
No,
it might have been a case of the kid was tired of practicing it for my benefit.
Doesn't matter what the case is. I'm not trying to say he's not a good teacher or whatever. I'm just saying that it's subjective when it comes to the student. You don't blame the the student for being stupid if it's something that you can't necessarily get across that somebody else could. You just tell yourself, well, that wasn't in my toolbox. Now it is, right?
Yeah.
That's the way I'm looking at it. I'm not. There's no insult intended or whatever, but just as well, it's not your fault that you couldn't learn the way he was teaching. It's somebody else had a different approach that was better that works for you, and now he knows another way to get that across. Most people that I know that are I'm reluctant to say masters in the martial arts
Well,
because it just sounds the
that's
way
his
that
title.
it does. No, I understand, but that title is different depending on translations.
Okay, I'm just telling you there are requirements.
Yeah, well, I'm not trying to discuss the word master. I'm just saying most people that have achieved that level. You see what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Whether it be master, sensei, whatever, they don't stop learning. They're now learning a new thing because anytime you're teaching something, you're learning from the student as well. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm saying is that also taught him something out of that exchange.
Okay.
Yeah, like you don't have to keep defending him because that was just an example. It wasn't meant to be the whole discussion or whatever. I was just saying that everybody has an equal opportunity at the beginning. When everybody's a white belt that goes into karate has the opportunity to become a black belt. Not everybody is going to be. That's more of the example I was trying to get across.
That's why they say a black belt is a white belt that never gave up.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. That the reason that I'm reluctant to say master is because most people that I know that are into the Tao of it believe that nothing can ever be mastered like that. You're mastering yourself.
Well,
But that's qualified by the people I know.
well, this is from the U.S. Chundokwon Association, which is recognized by Seoul, and the codification is, or codification is, if you have achieved 4th degree black belt and you are teaching teachers, so you have black belts underneath you that are teaching, and you're teaching, so you're a teacher of teachers. That's what that means.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. That's you. That's the. I mean, it means something. But anyway, Adam said, "What do you think about the new Captain America movie? Excited? Don't care."
So
It's not going to be a Captain America movie.
he's probably asking you. The
yeah.
whole don't care is probably he's preempting my answer.
I think it's still going to be a lot of MCU, and it's still going to be. I don't know if it's really going to be a Captain America movie. I think it's going to be a Dark Avengers movie. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, yeah.
Oh wait, no, I'm getting that confused with Thunderbolts.
There's a
Ignore that.
there's a storyline in the actual comic that it's following. So
Yeah, but
well, I mean that's to the credit of the movie, right? That
Yeah.
they're not just making this shit up whole cloth. They're guaranteed going to change it, from the original story. But what I'm saying is that there is a basis for what they're doing.
some of what they're doing, I remember back in the 90s, pretty sure it's the 90s, when Captain America had a total blood transfusion to give up, so he got rid of the super serum. Like, that's a thing. And I thought, well, this is dumb. So he's just a guy. Never mind. Completely killed the character for me. So now we have, Falcon as Captain America, and they show a trailer, where he's flipping over a car that's been thrown at him, and his wing slices through the car. I'm like, yeah,
by the Red Hulk.
yeah. I'm like, that would throw him. Like he'd be thrown. I don't care. Like, it's just the physics of it don't make a lot of sense to me, and it doesn't feel like they are following the rules of the world they've established.
So, what if he takes the super serum?
Well, that's different. So Adam said, I want to see it, but without the super soldier serum, sorry, Falcon America would get splatted real quick. No superhuman abilities. Sorry. If Hulk punched your shield, the vibrations alone would rupture your organs without any powers. I think the vibranium is supposed to absorb the vibrations, so it actually should be like pretty muffled, but still, yeah, the weight, just the weight. If he's, I don't know how heavy the Red Hulk gets, but I'm going to guess several 100 pounds at the very least.
Well, the regular Hulk, I think it was 900 pounds or something like that when he was at full maximum capacity. That's like when you're talking about Colossus, right?
Yeah.
Colossus in human form is not the same as when he's in metal form. Right. Obviously, the metal weighs more. Yeah. Like it's 900 pounds or 800 pounds with him in metal form. But he also grows to 7 foot something. And the Hulk is not even supposed to be over 7 foot. I think if you look at the original, it's either 7 foot or 8 foot or something like that. He's not. It may even be less than that.
So internet says Red Hulk can get 1,400 pounds.
Yep.
So that's what I'm saying. You bring that kind of weight down, I don't care. The weight by itself is going to crush. It's going to break his spine. So, some of that stuff. It's just nerd talk. I know, but like, all right. And then when he got Anthony Mackie, that's his name, started giving interviews and was saying that Captain America doesn't need to represent America. It's like,
what?
Yeah, I'm like, you
Captain, whatever we want the fuck it to be.
I'm like, you had 14 days to keep it roughly. I guess it's 16 days, 17, whatever. But less than a month. All you had to do was keep your mouth shut, not say anything stupid. And you decided to open up your mouth and say something stupid.
Yeah. Why the fuck is he called Captain America and not Captain Canuck?
Exactly. Really, Marvel has been missing the boat. Like, I don't know what. I can't believe they have yet to deliver what the audience has been begging for. Alpha Flight. I will probably watch the Captain America movie. I don't think I did not watch the Marvels. I didn't care at all.
I probably will watch the Captain America as well.
I just don't know if I'll go. Yeah.
I'm not gonna go watch it in the theater. I'm not excited to see it. And I think it might have been a little bit different if Harrison Ford wasn't 80 years old, because that's kind of a hard sell for me.
Well, I just Adam said that Marvels wasn't a horrible movie, but not a great one, and I don't know. I haven't seen it, and yeah, Adam said the old man would probably not recover from the transformation. I agree, but was it Ms. Marvel? Was it whatever the girl TV show one was? I liked the actress that played the Indian Ms. Marvel. I thought she was great. I liked her energy, but overall, I was like, this is boring, and I stopped watching that. And then the Marvels, I was like, yeah, I really don't care about this.
Hey, let's talk.
Uh, the movie was garbage.
You done? Nibble on me? What? Hey, hey. What's up, dog? Dog. Dog, dog,
Oh, that was the Eternals.
dog. What?
What?
Dog,
Adam said you were talking,
dog.
you as in me, was talking about the Ms. Marvel movie, or the Mrs. Marvel, whatever it is. I thought you were talking about the Marvels movie with Angelina Jolie and those other people where they were got. That was the Eternals. Yeah, the Eternals was meh, and yeah, I haven't seen Marvels, and I don't really care to.
My God, suddenly.
The Eternals just had way too many people, and no one was really developed all that well. And yeah, the first Ms. Marvel was okay, but it wasn't anything spectacular. And the fact that it grossed over $1 billion was like, yeah, that's because it's sandwiched in between two Avengers films. People think they need to know this, and they don't. Like, she was barely in the second film. Quite frankly, they had to nerf her anyway. Oh. Adam said that he's also really excited to see the new DCU fail because miserably because they are trying to put 19 characters and story arcs into one Superman film. One could argue they're not making a Superman film.
It's the crypto
a-
film.
Yeah, it's crypto. Stupid. I just,
I'm surprised that they didn't switch him out for a black pit bull and call him Crypto the Super Dog.
well, cryptocurrency.
Like
It's
Crypto.
because that's his dog. He based it off his own dog.
Huh?
I mean, the character was from the comics, but the design. I mean, the look of crypto in the movie is, I'm pretty certain, based on his own actual dog. Oh God, that was terrible.
But it was so terrible that
that is
everybody
terrible.
needed to see it.
That's funny. Super. It can't be the Super Doge. It's the Department of Government Efficiency. Can't use that word anymore. It's been co-opted by conservatives, by evil fascist billionaires.
Did you know? I don't know if you did. I don't know if we discussed this on stream before or not, but Smokey the Bear, Woodsy the Owl, They are, and McGruff the Crime Dog.
Yeah.
They are all owned by the U.S. government, and to use them without permission is
Yeah.
a felony. You're a felon if you use them without permission.
Wow.
Which is ironic because I've seen some leftist comics drawing those. That's how easy it is to be a felon. If you take a pair of dentures that's not your own across state lines, you're a felon. It's like a you might be a redneck joke.
That's interesting.
Oh yeah, well, Amanda looked up a whole bunch of them because it's just so easy to be a felon, you know.
Oh, if she has that list or anything, let me know. I will do something with it.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah.
That sounds fun.
I know she has a whole bunch of it. I'll
You don't have to do it right now because I'm not going to do anything with it right now.
Well, no, but I figured I could message her real quick. That's all.
Wow.
Aside from the fact that nothing in my life goes real quick. All right, back to work.
Okay.
Well, I just messaged her because if not, I'll forget about it. By the time the show's over, I won't be thinking about it. And I think she really, really likes providing you with those answers because she looks this stuff up. She's emphatic about her fact-finding missions or research. Just because she probably looked it up for an argument about how stupid things you can do to be a felon. And it's amusing and pretty fucking scary at the same time.
So Adam said that characters in the new Superman film are Superman, Guy Gardner,
Yep.
Hawkman, Hawkgirl, Crypto, Lex Luthor, Metamorpho, Mr. Terrific,
Yep.
the Engineer, and Supergirl.
There's also Omega, right?
I don't know.
Is it Omega? Got the black suit on with the big U.
Oh yeah,
Right? He's fighting him in the football field.
yeah, or something. Yeah.
I want to say Omega, but I could be wrong. Could be not right about who that character is because it's deeper into the mythology than I usually am. I'm not a huge Superman fan. Adam, so I mentioned something in the David Finch fan server about posting videos someplace else because I appreciate that you're helping him and the video has helped, but it should go in reference and resources just so it's not cluttering or confusing in that space. This is in the interest of not losing what they're posting. I guess
I knew it. I knew you were going to say something. Okay. That's what he said.
Oh.
I was reading
No,
it.
no, I wanted to let you know that I do appreciate what you're doing. And I don't want to chastise you for anything, and I didn't want to make it sound like a chastising, but I just wanted to try to keep things in order, like in decent order, so we can know where to find it. And I think that information is good for more than just that one instance. And there's only so many people that look into those rooms, channels of the membership. Anyway, I was saying thanks as well.
He said he could have made a thread also instead of page jumping.
What?
That's what he said. So he could have made.
I guess I'll look and see. What? Yeah, I guess that's a possibility too. We haven't really discussed much of that, so I'm talking about like with Alec, we haven't really discussed much of that, and Alec's the owner, so. But I think that would be cool, like as long as it's not just taking up the space where people are trying to get help and they're losing what they're posting in somebody else's responses. I want to see. Oh, you know what? I can do it this way. Brett, just for you.
What?
Just a second. I'm sharing something.
Oh, good. Fun times.
Yeah, that's it's hard to be a felon. Like you have to intentionally do some shit. Like write a $1 check.
Well, that was always funny when they said, that picture of Martha Stewart, Snoop Dogg, and they're like, one of these is a felon, and the other one is a rapper.
Right.
You're like, what? Excuse me? So Adam said it just gets difficult to split one conversation across 3+ channels. That's happened before. You start in critique, then reference to reference, and then start talking about something else that goes in another channel and tag that person there, etc.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
I try to do that too. I mean, like I try to live by the same rules I ask everybody else to live by. Once in a while, it's hard. Like I post reference images in the art help, but I figure anybody that's looking at those art images will get some help, and I don't want to just clutter images anywhere. But yeah, I have had times where I'm telling people, let's move this conversation from one place to another, just to keep channels cleaner. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So, USC 1657 makes consulting, corresponding, or providing a pirate with provisions a felony offense. It's a federal crime to injure. Oh yeah, this is some shit. I'm gonna share it because
I believe those are current laws.
It's just too ridiculous to just say without proving.
A government-owned lamp. Huh. Is that like a street lamp?
No,
Just
government
desk
owned
lamp.
lamp. Yeah, like any government owned lamp.
So if you're working one day and you're working late and trip
They
and
could.
knock the lamp over,
Yep, they could.
You
6
could
months
be
in
a
prison, and now
felon.
you're a felon.
Felon.
Oh,
I think that's what USC is. Adam said, "What is USC? United States Code?" I believe so.
everybody wanted to know this information. You should know this information because this one can really screw you up.
I just asked for you to send it to me. Or send it to me. I'll do something with it.
No false weather reports.
You
Felony
can
crime.
willingly sign a letter lying to the people of the country to influence an election, but you can't make a false weather report.
Now, here's an interesting factoid. What if the weatherman says it's going to rain on Friday, and it doesn't? Isn't
Well, it
that
says
a false
knowing.
weather report?
I said knowingly. If you didn't know it was false.
Oh. Wow. And are you ready for the next one?
Yeah. With intent to deceive. Uh-huh. Makes it a crime for people who are not associated with the 4-H youth organization to use or display the emblem, sign, insignia, or words. I would think that would be a hard one to enforce. What was certain, things like freedom of speech.
Oh, you're gonna love this one. This one, we're all in danger of violating. And it's so much so that they had to make this a law.
A federal crime to normally let pigs, cattle, horses, and other fenced-in area. Huh. Man, I was going to do that tomorrow. So when I actually go to the USC website, it says Boy Scouts of America, not 4-H.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh. Interesting. Interesting. Nope, it says 4-H. She was on the wrong page. Huh. Importing African rats without permission was boiled, salted, or stuffed? Well, that's good.
Yeah. Silly things that you can actually. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Dangerous criminal right here.
Whoa. Adam said he's pulled the tags off of mattresses.
You
I think
shouldn't
it's
be
fun.
admitting that on screen. You know, what's on the internet, it's out there forever. And you know who's going to come get you? The Dream Police.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here. Taking a Samsung Galaxy Note 7 smartphone on a plane. Number FAA 20169288 makes it a federal crime to carry the Samsung Note 7 on a plane in any manner after a series of mishaps resulted in the phone blowing up and catching on fire. Maximum sentence 10 years in federal prison and up to a $179,933 fine.
It's an oddly specific number.
I know, that's the part that really bothers me. Like, why isn't it just like 930 or just make it an even 180,000? Like, at that point, does it really matter?
Yeah, well, this is a phone. I mean, are you supposed to know if your phone has a habit of blowing up? You know, like if your phone blew up.
I
If
think
your
I
phone-
would like to know that.
Yeah, but did you research your phone to see if there's a lot of, my phone? I don't know if my phone has a habit of blowing up in other people's hands.
There
Hasn't
are
blown
days
up
when
in
I wish
mine.
my phone would. I have no idea if the TSA flags the phones.
Oh no. You want to be very, very careful when storing food in the freezer for this one.
Oh.
Seriously.
What? Strictly prohibits labeling the words turkey or ham in different sizes, fonts, and color on a turkey ham. So what, turkey and ham have to be equal? That sounds like a commie plot. I don't know.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh. This one I should be able to make bigger. Wow.
Well, as long as it's not like a slightly sloped roof building with a rifle and a scope. It's just a tree.
Yeah. Federal climb a tree at the Supreme Court. But look at the Supreme Court. There ain't very many trees to climb. One.
Yeah.
That's illegal to climb that motherfucker.
I hope they have a sign. Hope it's posted.
And last one so I can get back to work, and then I'll send you whatever I haven't sent you
All right.
later on.
I'm also going to take my midstream stroll then because I can't wait. But I'll wait till you're done with this one
Yep, just this one.
so I can read it for Adam.
Well, I've been trying to open it under a different window so it's bigger.
Oh, I don't care. I read stuff for people all the time. And it's not like Adam can't read. I mean, maybe, but roller skating in an undesignated area of a national park. Wow. Skateboarding is not a crime.
Yes, it is. It's a felony.
Uh-oh, don't tell his wife.
Don't tell your wife that skateboarding is not a crime or that you can't read.
Probably roller skating, or yeah, maybe the read. I can't read thing. Been pretending to read her notes forever.
They're really good at guessing.
Yeah, she's an avid. I was guessing that it was the roller skating thing because it's an odd thing. But remember when I was saying earlier the woman thing?
Yeah.
My wife got into roller skating again. Everyone that I know that's like her around her age,
Yeah.
which I'm not stupid enough to tell online. But everyone that's around her age is all of a sudden just coming back into skating again. When she first got her skates, I'm like, you need to get knee pads and elbow pads and a helmet because you haven't skated in a while and your bones aren't as young as they used to be. So the first time that she goes out, I look over and Eli's backing his bike up across the road so that he could get off it and help Mom up.
Nice.
Yeah, she hurt herself because she wasn't wearing pads.
Adam said, what is the most terrifying thing to read as a blind person? Do not touch.
Oh, I was going to say the cheese grater, but I guess it's the difference between instruction and horror novel. Nonfiction and fiction. See, I'm changing it again. I'm like Darth Vader. I'm altering the deal.
Yeah, I was figuring that part.
Oh, I'll be right back. I gotta do my midstream stroll. Or my midstream stream. However you want to call it. I don't care.
Don't stroll midstream.
Mid-stroll, midstream?
Minstrel?
Menstrual stream?
Menstrual? Yeah, right. Don't cross the streams. Especially not these streams.
And I have returned. Did I tell you about the Helen Keller joke that I saw online that I thought they did wrong?
Oh no. You know how many Helen Keller jokes there are?
Right. I just thought they just did it wrong.
One,
Oh,
but all the rest are true.
Adam said, "What's another term for a bard's bike?" I don't know. Okay, well, he types that. The menstrual cycle. Anyway,
He was just playing on our words.
I know. No, I saw this YouTube video and they were talking. They did this Helen Keller joke. They're like, "Did you know that Helen Keller's dog ran away?"
Yep.
You would too if your name was. That's the joke.
Yep.
And I thought, okay, first off, it would have been way cooler if the joke had been, Did you know that Helen Keller's dog ran away? Did you know that Helen Keller's dog ran away? Come on. It's yes or no.
Neither did she.
Exactly.
That, well, you know, Helen Keller jokes normally don't work anyway. Like, how'd she burn her ear answering the iron? Like, implying that she would hear the phone to answer it anyway.
I always liked why was Helen Keller a bad driver?
Just throw the punchline out. Don't wait for someone to ask.
Well, I was. Oh, I was putting it in the private section.
Anyway,
Well, you started it. People need to hear that.
that's the best part. You should never tell them.
Oh.
But for Adam's
Steve.
sake, I will. Hold on a second. Why was Helen Keller a bad driver? Because she was a woman. Man, whoever said that joke was terrible. That person's evil.
Yeah.
My boys
But
once
they,
asked me,
but,
who
but
was
they
better.
have jokes, and that's that. They're evil, but they have jokes.
The boys once asked me who was a better driver, me or my wife, and I was like, I don't know. Let's just take a quick poll. All right, who here has ever hit a building with a car? Raise your hand. Who here has ever hit 2 buildings with a car? Who here has ever rear-ended someone that you stopped behind at a stoplight? Ah.
Yep. Actually, I'm just dead inside.
Adam said, Dad, why is Mommy in the backyard digging a foxhole? That's not a foxhole, son. I'll miss you. Oh, I can do all your voiceovers? Well, thanks, Adam. Adam said that he forgets how late it is for us, and he really appreciates us staying up and doing these.
Well, you can show your appreciation by showing up.
He does show up. Okay.
I'm just kidding because he did show up this time. But
Yeah.
what was the last time he showed up?
Wasn't he here
That's-
last time?
That's like, well, yeah. I mean, that's like the girl that asked us to do
Oh
her
yeah.
her birthday. Can you stream for my birthday? So we did this special stream for her birthday, and she's never shown up again since.
I feel so used.
Well, at least you didn't get naked and jump out of a cake for her.
Well, that's what I was looking forward to.
Oh, I guess I was mentioning what I was comforting for. comforted for.
It was going to be vanilla with a strawberry swirl. That's what flavor the cake would be.
Ah,
Yeah, your picture's kind of fuzzy. Just letting you know that. Like it's not quite focused. Eh? I think that might be better.
well, that's as focused as it gets. I'm still
Yeah, I know.
early in this particular drawing.
Well, I get that, and I did not say anything right away. Like I was like, I blew it up. Like I took myself out of the picture just so I could see it bigger. And I was actually judging more your hand and pencil than the drawing because I was like, it's just a little fuzzy. But if your hand was a little fuzzy, then the drawing, because it's a drawing, is even harder to read.
Hmm. My eraser pencil just shot my eraser out. But it shouldn't have, because it's supposed to like advance one click like a clicker pencil, you know?
Right?
But it hit and shot it out like,
Are you wearing something alluring?
what's that?
I said, are you wearing something alluring? Like your eraser was a little too excited.
Hmm. Jake's writing me a book.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like for me to read after this.
Okay.
I keep getting alerted to comments.
Oh.
Before the stream, I was talking to him about Taliesin, Taliesin, who was a pre or early medieval poet, bard,
Oh yeah.
that didn't have a bike, by the way. So he was pre-minstrel blues. Anyway,
Oh, terrible.
he was supposed to be a contemporary of King Arthur, but there's a book of poetry that's attributed to him that it's really by a bunch of different authors in a bunch of different time periods. And I was talking about doing a fake lost book of Taliesin so that I could use like epigraphical quotes and as the chapter heads.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's really hard. So I pulled the U.
Not me.
I went to Chat GPT for the first time, and prompted it to write me a poem in the style of Taliesin. It failed miserably.
I was like, this is not going to end well.
Well, it failed miserably because the first thing that it did was it wrote the stanzas in rhyme, and Taliesin was writing in Welsh, and that type of poetry doesn't rhyme. Like if it rhymes, it's an accidental rhyme, not an intentional rhyme.
Yeah.
So every two lines rhyming together like a song or something doesn't work. The only thing that it kind of sort of got right is there's a lot of cosmic or ethereal type subject matter, like stuff that's hard to actually define.
Okay.
Because there's a famous Taliesin poem where it starts off like he was a tree before time, and I guess cosmic type stuff, but that's what makes it hard to write imitation, because the things that they believed in those times are only pretty much recorded in those poems. Like they don't have a whole lot of expansive information on what was taught or whatever, because they didn't have schools really. I mean, they kind of did it into the medieval period, but like they're talking about between the year 400 and the year 600 when Rome had abandoned Britain, and basically took with them their knowledge and their like military knowledge, their record keeping knowledge, their writing, their actual technology, really, because a lot of the destruction that happened to the Roman cities was never rebuilt because they didn't have the technology to rebuild stonework like that, which is why they kind of patchworked it with wattle and daub and just kind of woven fences and stuff like that. All stuff of interest to me, but to try to create poetry based on stuff that we don't really know all of what they knew at the time.
Right.
I want it to sound authentic, but I don't want it to be like some of them like 5, 6, 7 pages of poem. And that's after it's been translated from Welsh. But there's mention, I think, of Arthur in one of his poems, or there's mention of him being a contemporary that living in the same time as Arthur. But it's really tricky to know what time they lived in, because you can see that the poems in the Book of Taliesin or Taliesin they change over the course of the book, and you can tell that they're written in different time periods, like different eras. Some is written in like the 6th century, and it could be almost a comparison to the 𝕄𝔸𝕊𝔋𝕀𝔽𝔽.
Yeah.
And then others of it are written in pretty much 1100s English. So that's quite a bit of time after that. But as far as I can tell is that they use that name almost like a pseudonym that everybody used if they were writing stuff that was not popular with the monarch of the day. So if they were gonna criticize, they'd use Taliesin's name instead of their own.
Okay.
Which is kind of weird, because Taliesin's stuff, the early stuff that's attributed to him, it's telling tales of legendary kings, and they're basically he's basically selling this king. He's the PR for this king. So for that to be used in an anti-PR, manner, that's just interesting. That's history. Interesting history. Also, what's interesting is his name, Taliesin. The Tali, the Tali or Tali part of it, actually means it's a poet of a certain house. So, like, his name would be really Essen, but he's the house poet. Essen, the house poet, would be Taliesin. So it's really weird when you're trying to find out who somebody is, right?
Yeah.
And Merlin was supposed to be a bard. So I've seen some newer contemporary Arthurian stories where that's exactly what Merlin's doing. Is he's pretty much working the people up to get behind Arthur and to support Arthur by making them believe he's something more than he is.
Okay. So in this panel, Adam was asking. We have Mastiff, who is trying to fight off what he thought was a Demigorgon, but was actually a hallucinogenic eel monster thing. And the cops of that particular city have come in from a different direction to.
Oh, a cop.
Or a cop, okay, whatever.
Him. This guy and this guy.
You can't see the top panel. There you go.
This guy. And this guy. Is take it from here. It's your guy. You created this guy.
Okay. Anyway, the guy in the middle is the sewer or the waste manager for the city, or a waste manager for the city, and the cop there, and this is a delay basically in being able to get to somebody who has been kidnapped.
It's one of the dangers of crawling through the sewers after somebody else who crawled through the sewers.
Or at least came this way.
Yeah, came that way. We're assuming it's crawling through the sewers because Mastiff's following a trail.
Right.
This is the guy on the big double splash page. That's to the right. There's two guys behind Mastiff. Well, I guess there's 15 technically. But the two closest to him is the Bloodgill guy and this particular cop. And even though he's dressed kind of military, he's a detective, so. I'm trying to give a decent explanation of what you've explained. I wanted to let you do the talking about this guy because I actually had it wrong originally because I thought he was something else. But you explained him as the guy that raised the Rancor in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Which is something that you didn't mention, but that's why he's like, no, because he's trying to stop them from killing his pet.
And also something that helps protect the city. I mean, there's more than just a pet, but yeah, he's grown fond.
Yeah, I simplified it, but like I said,
yeah,
that's why I was like, and over to you, Brett. I wasn't going to draw him the way that I did draw him until you told me a little bit more about what you wanted. He's got goggles. He's got wild hair. That's Brett's invention. I gave him this respiratory device because he works in the sewers, and I would want one if I was going to work crap all day. So technically in the top panel, which you can't see, let's see, first panel, he's biting this which he thinks is a tentacle of Demogorgon. And then when he bites it, the illusion kind of fades. And then we see its master. And then we see the cop entering from a different route. Of course, there's going to be text that tells you more of what's going on in this panel. And then you got this big panel. Where just it's kind of all brought together. And I'm trying to stay with that rule where this panel leads to this panel leads to this panel.
Hey, there went your mic. Yep, that's your mic.
What the fuck?
No idea what you just.
Okay.
Well, it says he's back. That doesn't mean he's back.
Well,
Oh, that sounds better.
yeah, I asked how about now?
Oh, I didn't hear it until you just said, well.
At least once a show nowadays, I have to back out and come back in. No. How gross is this that the water is getting everywhere?
Well, when you think about what it is, that's pretty darn nasty.
Yep. I'm gonna have to find a colorist with some intestinal fortitude.
Rich, I just put a message for you in the private chat. And I'm going to have to make an early departure on this one.
Well, it's not all that early.
Trust me, I think I'd rather stay. But
Well, no, I'm just saying it's not all that early of a departure. It's not like you're
okay, well, I
with half a show to go or whatever.
no, that's anyway. I need to.
Yeah, man. Yeah, take care of your family.
Thanks.
God bless.
Talk to you later, guys. Bye. Wait, we got this right. Trying to set up your camera right before I go. There we go. That's better.
Oh, and at least one person left. Breath got a fan. Hey, cool. Somebody's still here. It's weird. It reads like you're not. I'm looking at StreamYard. If I looked at either Twitch or YouTube, everything would have an echo or a delay. So I would say something and I wouldn't hear it for a minute or something, and that really messes with me. So I can't do it. But I can watch the stream on StreamYard, and it shows me comments from anywhere that I'm streaming to. But what it does is it shows me an eye with a number of watchers. I don't think it's always reliable, because sometimes it'll say one and there'll be actually 3 people, and sometimes it'll show 3 people just for a second, and then I'll see the analytics later on and it'll reveal that there was more people watching than they showed. Oh, thank you. Like, yeah, you didn't have to do it right then. I just was saying in the future. Like, I appreciate it. It just helps us. That's all. And you, if you've ever submitted to that particular part of the Discord channel, then you know that it's pretty easy to have something that you post get lost before somebody makes comments on it. while another post gets a lot of comments or something. And that, I think, kind of irks the members. I've seen comments to it here and there, but I don't know how many members just don't feel like they can say something. I just trying to be thoughtful and, you know, give people who are really looking for help the space to get it and not get lost or bogged down in a whole bunch of other stuff, which it's really easy to do, especially if you're trying to help somebody. It's really easy to present like not only what you're saying, but like 10 different ways to say it that illustrate a different aspect or something. So I definitely understand. It's just for the sake of the other people that may not feel intimidated or whatever. That's why I put it in request form, because I really do like what you're doing to help. And I can't always be there and always do that. Not only do I have health issues, but like I'm the only one that's constantly there. Everybody else, they can just take breaks and walk away. If I do, then everything shuts down or there's chaos, or that's when 7,000 bots invade and whatever. I don't know, like there's a possibility that I could be working for a comic company very soon, and then I've got to figure out what I'm going to do with that. I mean, yeah, messed it, bit the sewer worm. I think I'm gonna have to tell Brett that now it's called the sewer worm. But yeah, that's how we dispelled the illusion of it being the Demogorgon. But originally, it was written as a giant star mole with tentacles and, well, poopy water anyway. But there's a trick to that as well, because is it really his mouth? Authenticity.
What are you more, probably?
Oh no, son.
That time on 8 o'clock on PM.
That time. Well, I'm almost done with what I'm doing.
Well, Karen?
You can, yeah, you can open the curtain.
Brett went home?
Yeah, Brett had to leave early.
Go ahead.
And it's that time.
What do you want?
As my son keeps reminding me.
She on Friday? She on Friday. On Friday, stream. Friday.
Yes, sir. We're gonna stream next time on Thursday.
Jen Friday. Jen Friday.
Of course you knew that.
Way more.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah, sir.
Alright, that's it for the night. Everybody that watched, Thank you, Digital Phantom. Let's see if I can make that right size again. See if I can get a close up of it. Probably not, but so everyone that watched, liked, subscribed, followed, thank you for doing that thing you do. And we should be back at regular time on Thursday. Good night. God bless. Much love. Yeah, glad to see you.